Hey everyone, it's Ryan here with my predictions for WWE Summerslam 2019. Looking at the card, every match in it is a singles match. Only one match has a stipulation. The rest are just plain singles matches. That's a bit odd for a big four like SummerSlam. I'd say there's big five now because of Money in the Bank. But yeah, I'm average for it already. There's only a few matches I'm actually excited for. Um, but yeah, it's just so confusing. It's like, if it's your big one, surely this is where like the stipulation matches come in. There's not even a tag match. That's really how weird it is. But I'm going to go through the 10 matches with you and my predictions for them. So start off, most likely on the pre-show, because that's always how it is. Drew Gulak defends the Cruiserweight Championship against Oni Lorcan, who won it on the 205 Live before the show in a 6-pack challenge. I'm going to go with Drew Gulak because what's the point of putting it on Oni Lorcan if there's been no build-up at all to this match? I feel like this match is there just for the sake of being there. Literally, Drew Gulak and Oni Lorcan haven't had any confrontation with each other, apart from probably after the match. I didn't really pay attention to it. Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair because if they're going to build her up as this heel, have them beat Canada's hero because it takes place in Toronto. This is Trish's last match apparently, so Charlotte can basically use that heat by beating Trish in the last match. Goldberg versus Dolph Ziggler. It was building up for ages to be Dolph versus The Miz with little inklings of Dolph versus Shawn, but then Goldberg was the one that was there instead, so it's a nice surprise. I'm going to go Goldberg just to squash Ziggler in maybe 2 minutes. It'll be a nice quick match. Ziggler's gone back to his imitating old wrestlers again. So yeah, there you go. AJ Styles versus Ricochet in a rematch for the United States Championship. So they've got rid of the rematch clauses, but what they've done to disguise them now is they have these matches where they happen to win and earn another right at the shot. I guess that's one way of hiding it, but like I said before, I would prefer if someone else was the challenger before they could come back and try and claim another shot at the title. I've gone for AJ Styles to retain. AJ Styles and then Gallows and Anderson have got all the titles. They can be like the Shield were back in 2013, where they had all the gold and they were just dominant for a year. I would like to see that. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. This is The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I'm going to go Bray Wyatt. It's Bray Wyatt's first match back. For Finn Balor, it's one of those confusing things where it's like, if there's something as big as this is where it's just himself. But he'll bring out the demon for someone like Baron Corbin or Bobby Lashley, where it's like, I guess because it was one of the big four or something, but it's like, so Finn Balor last year SummerSlam brought the demon out to face Baron Corbin of all people, and then at WrestleMania brought the demon out to face Bobby Lashley for the IC title. Wouldn't he bring the demon out for this? I guess they're saving it for Survivor Series or something. But it was like when he went against Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. It's like, why wouldn't you bring the demon out there? If you know the demon's going to win, then why not bring him out there? But we've gone Bray to win that match. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon in a singles match. If Owens loses, he has to quit WWE. This is why I'm going for Owens to win. Owens suggested the same thing to McMahon, and obviously McMahon said no. Kevin Owens is pretty much saying what everyone else is thinking. Shane McMahon's on TV way too much. Sort of like Baron Corbin was when he was general manager. He'd show up in like 5 or 6 different segments where he didn't need to. Shane McMahon essentially is the joke gone too far with the whole best in the world thing. So I've gone for Kevin Owens to win. Kofi Kingston defends the WWE Championship against Randy Orton for the interesting singles match. This to me has had one of the best build-ups for it. The story being from like 2009, Randy Orton held Kofi back. There's the infamous moment where Randy's going for the punt and Kofi drops back down. He basically yells stupid at him after hitting him with an RKO. They've been using that in the build-up, which has been great. Randy basically saying, the reason I held you back is because you weren't ready, and look at you now, you're main event at WrestleMania, you're WWE Champion, but you're still not good enough to beat me. I've gone for Kofi to retain. It would be nice to have like the heel Randy Orton as champion, but I've gone Kofi to retain. Prove they can do it by himself, because Randy Orton's also been saying he's only got there because of Xavier Woods and Big E. For example, they won the gauntlet match, they got Kofi into the match. But Kofi's pretty much proved that he's won by himself. So I think he can just prove that again here. It should be a really good match. Bayley versus Ember Moon for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This one's had the most confusing build-up. Ember Moon's been made to be his threat, and then Trish Stratus now has come back, and Bayley was like, hey, I want to fight you, Trish. Completely forgetting about Ember. Ember's now lost twice in the past 2 weeks. So she doesn't really look strong. And then on the last SmackDown, Natalya versus Ember Moon. Natalya and Ember Moon don't count it out because Natalya held the sharpshooter on too long. Then Bayley came out to save her challenger, which is ultimately confusing. Because it started off as, oh, I want someone to face me that's worth a challenge. Maybe you, Ember. Oh, that'll be great, cool. And then they have the attention and all that stuff. So it's just been really confusing. I've gone for Bayley to retain. It would seem a bit weird just to throw the title off Ember, like onto Ember after this crappy build-up for it. Becky Lynch versus Natalya. It started off good. Again, started getting confusing because they started mixing it in with the women's title matches. It's essentially a submission match. This is the only stipulation match on the show. It's going to be the Disarmer versus the Sharpshooter. Like I said, there's been some nice moments in this, but Becky Lynch attacking Finlay because Finlay was teaching Natalya how to get out of the Disarmer. Also, Natalya at first going, oh, it's going to be nice to face my friend Becky and have a really good match at SummerSlam. Becky saying, when we get to the ring, we're not friends. You're just another challenger, and I'm going to beat you if you're going to have that attitude. Then Natalya literally switches it. Like, I'm going to kick your ginger bitch ass and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And then, yeah, after that, it just got a bit, but like I said, I've gone for Becky Lynch to retain. I don't see Natalya winning. I know it's 2 people from Canada both losing, but WWE love making people lose in their hometown. And then, finally, Brock Lesnar defends the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins. Good God, this build-up has been shit. So Brock Lesnar, after an amazing Extreme Rules, by the way, Brock Lesnar cashed in on Seth Rollins, which basically dampened down the show, unfortunately, for people. Like, literally, everything was great up until that moment. Since then, Seth Rollins has been trying to attack Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him. Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him again. And just on this last Raw, Seth came out limping with a chair, like, oh, I won't be able to... Gets in the ring, goes to launch himself at Brock. Brock just attacks him. He immediately attacks the ball, so Seth now looks even more stupid. And then gets on the mic. He goes, "Oh, I may not have got him in this game, but I swear at SummerSlam I'll make sure he loses." And it's just not working. Seth is literally dropping more and more in this thing where they're trying to make him like this cool face everyone likes, but this is the problem that we've had for a while now, especially with Roman. They tried to make him the cool, everyday man face type thing, and it's like, no one can relate to him, or he's just so boring and sucks that no one wants to support him, which is why people start cheering the bad guys, like when it was Kevin Owens and when it was Randy Orton and all that stuff, because like as baby faces, they're just so bland and not interesting. They're so one-dimensional. For example, Bobby Roode, Finn Balor, all they do is smile. They go, "Hey, look at me out there, I'm smiling. I'm so happy to be, friends with you." It's like there's nothing else there. And Seth is now having that problem too. He's trying to be like, "I do it for the fans" and all this stuff. It's like, no, just show why you're an amazing wrestler in this match. So I've gone for Brock Lesnar to retain. Who challenges Brock after, I don't know. But yeah, Seth just needs to do something that's interesting, because this is not interesting. So my predictions for SummerSlam are Drew Gulak, Charlotte Flair, Goldberg, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Bayley, Becky, and Brock. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoy SummerSlam. I know I'm going to try and enjoy it as I can. Hopefully I got a couple of friends over. I had one that came over for Extreme Rules last time. It was his very first pay-per-view, and it was, to me, it was a great way to show off like the wrestling as a whole. So I'm hoping we're getting more of the same tonight. If it goes 4 hours, a lot of these matches are going to get tedious, unfortunately, but we'll see what they do. They might have an extra match or two added on the card. I'm not going to make predictions for them, because if they happen on the show, then obviously I can't just instantly come out and go, "Hey guys, this is why I'm going to predict this." My guess is if they're going to add a match, it'll be Roman going against Rowan, probably like Rowan and Bryan. If not, Aleister Black can come out, and I'm really hoping, based on NXT TakeOver Toronto, Johnny Gargano might come out to face him, but we'll see. Like I said, thank you for watching this video on my predictions. I hope you agree or disagree. Let me know what you think of them. And hopefully you enjoy SummerSlam. Right, bye.